Part 1.
Correcting Marty, not a single person. We were correcting him because he tried saying that no one is saying that they're coming for the children.
So let me just go back.
This isn't the first time they said it. They have been saying this for years. Again.
Okay, great. There's a lot of reasons. They may have said that, including states like Florida making laws preventing gender-affirming care for children and removing them. Not really sure what that's the context of. Let's go back further.
So good morning. I've had a couple people ask me what my thoughts of this are. So here's what I will say about this. Back in the 90s, we stood with the gay community when they marched and they fought for their actual equality. And we stood right next to them. And we watched and helped them gain their actual equality. And the gay community has come so far in the years since this has happened. And for a select portion of this community to behave like this, and I've seen other videos of full-grown men in bondage gear whipping each other in front of children. I've seen videos of grown men in tidy...
See, now that's not anything to do with essentially gay, lesbian, bisexuality, or transsexuality, LGBT. Q being queer, which is just a term that means just strange, odd. So pretty much everybody is pretty much queer in their own sense. Just grasp that. Just forget the association with whatever you think queer sexuality is, because like you said, people who are out there publicly in, the leather straps and, BDSM, like all that stuff, this is nothing to do with this movement. This is something else that I see. It's just a straight man and his wife could be into bondage and stuff like that and be out in the street screaming, yeah, we're here, we're queer, we're coming after your children, which in my personal comedic and just conscious opinion and perspective, when I hear these chants and stuff like that, I look at it as a parody, or not a parody, but I don't even want to say satire, but like a sarcastic, you think we're coming after your children, like with gender ideologies, and selling Pride, and not Pride movement, but a company called Pride that makes clothing that says stuff like Satan respects pronouns, or don't get rid of transphobia, or not trans people, like all these things that all the whatever this woman who, yeah, we've been standing next to them, fighting with them. It's like, okay, whatever. But now we're in this current time where we've all seen not anybody from that community going into Target saying, yeah, like, here, I love this clothing. I see heterosexual Christians or conservatives who just go into Target and just rummage through their entire, clothing pile, just like, oh, look at this. Like, how can you buy a baby a onesie that says, something that says like love, like, it's just, I'm not trying to make fun of anyone directly. I'm just making fun of the situation that I see people purposely go out of their way to put themselves in to state out some kind of opinion.
Whitey's twerking in front of toddlers up and down streets, and you see videos like this where they purposely are saying, we're coming for your children. And my
Yes. So when you see somebody twerking and all that stuff, your immediate light is just, oh, they're one of those trans queer people. They're the problem. That's the problem. You don't see that person as, yo, Jimmy, this is just this guy who, thinks that this is publicly acceptable. This is where we have to draw the line. It's like nothing to do about the community. You see somebody twerking in front of a child, especially, you go to that person and just say, what's your name? Where do you live? Who's your mother? You go to the individual and just say, why do you think this is important? And you film that, and then you put that on TikTok, and we'll address that. But just to use people's clips of just marches.
would be why.
And if we go back further,
Let's just
my favorite.
watch what the Muppet Babies is promoting today.
Oh, let's watch.
I met the most amazing princess, but they ran away, and all they left behind was this. Everyone, there's something I need to tell you. The princess who came to your ball tonight was me. I'm Gonzorella. But Gonzo, why didn't Vu tell us? Because you all expected me to look a certain way.
Now, if parents can't understand that this is the mindset that children find themselves in when they are old enough to be put into school, but now even the question of public schooling for children is not even safe, which is the dumbest thing when I hear people say the answer is we're going to homeschool them. It's like, no, your children will be ended up, it's like, you can try. I know people who've been homeschooled. It's not a failure. But if you're doing it because of this kind of
I want you to be upset with me. This is just, I look at this and we talk about it all the time. We talk about this. Nobody listened. The kids are definitely being attacked. This kind of
And this is where Marty Sleepy's comment is exactly right. Also, how is anyone targeting children? You complain a lot about nothing. Candace is just a nagger. That's it. She just nags about whatever conservatives are nagging about and just panders with that. How is that attacking children? It's the Muppet Babies. Granted, it's out there, but then, who are we to assume Gonzo in the beginning was? It's just, listen to the argument. If your child is watching this, are you going to watch it with them and be like, turn this off? Or are you going to sit there and just be like, so what do you think of that? And see how your kid critically thinks about this situation. Or are you going to be the parent just saying, you're not even old enough to think for yourself or make decisions, so I'm not even going to ask you. This is the mindset. I'm listening to these parents like Candace who says, I'm going to, homeschool my children. And then she has a video where she was talking about a walk with her husband saying the letter Q is redundant. And whoever invented the letter Q is an idiot. Imagine homeschooling your kid, teaching him that, and then that person goes out into the real world and says, you know what? The letter Q is redundant, and whoever invented it is an idiot. Mama told me that. Well, Mama, like a water boy. Well, Mama says that crocodiles are angry because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush. It's like that kind of ridiculousness where it's just like, what did your parents teach you? Who's your mom? Candace Owens? So then let's go back even further.
To all of you right-wing homophobes that have destroyed your Bud Light.
I don't know how you just...
And go back further.
To all of you...
And this is where I would like to continue with part 2, because here it is again. Listen to all of you right-wing homophobes that have destroyed your...
Right-wing homophobes that have destroyed your Bud Light and poured out your Jack Daniels?
Why? Because some kid named Dylan Mulvaney, who is a huge TikTok influencer creator with a huge following, who pretty much is at a point where any product he films himself using, oh yeah, here's my skincare regimen. Oh, here's the beer that I like to drink when I turn 21. Here is, he's at a point, she's at a point where whatever they put out is almost a branding competition. I don't know. It's like, imagine being Bud Light and seeing, oh my gosh, I don't know if you know, there's a guy named, or a girl named Dylan Mulvaney, huge following, huge influencer in this trans movement, gender, discussion. And she just posted a video on TikTok that just got 1 million views, just saying, oh, here. And what does Bud Light do, I guess? I guess they put Dylan's face on a can or whatever. And then the aftermath is just Kid Rock shooting. Kid Rock buys 6, cases of Bud Light just so that he can put on TikTok him using his assault rifle to make a statement. Grandpa's a little angry today and all that. And it just destroys an entire, section of Bud Light that he probably bought out from a liquor store. So essentially Bud Light still makes the money, and people aren't getting drunk off their beer. I think that's a win-win, essentially. But the outrageousness of how far this has gotten, where it's like now any company that dares to openly support, even put a rainbow on anything, like Ford, or even in this is an interesting one.
I have another product that you're going to have to destroy and never buy again.
This is hilarious.
Roll the ad.
Hey News, you will not believe what Doritos just did.
Hermano, cómo te extraño. Tío Alberto!
¡Qué sorpresa!
Okay, so now are we saying Doritos is satanic because they believe that you could conjure up spirits of the dead? I'm just making it just absolutely ridiculous here, but...
¿Qué hubo, familia? ¿Cómo están?
Alberto.
¿Quién es él? Es Mario, mi pareja.
¡Qué milagro!
What a miracle. Why? It said in the beginning, I miss my dear brother.
Y que este iba a estar solo para
I thought he'd be alone forever.
siempre.
It's never too late, I guess, even in afterlife. Now it's like, is Doritos saying these people aren't in heaven? Like in heaven, when we think of that, we think of halos or not like this blue, I saw a skull. But either way, you can dissect this video any way you want from a conscious standpoint, but everybody just looks at it as just, oh my God, Doritos Spanish version or Spanish manufacturing company, I guess, is now promoting that. I don't know. Like, what's the argument going to be? But either way.
No more Doritos for you guys.
Exactly. So now there's going to be this movement where, yeah, we can't have Doritos, which means if you can't have Doritos.
And by the way, Doritos is made by Frito-Lay,
The biggest chip manufacturing company ever.
who also makes Lay's potato chips, Cheetos, Fritos, Sun Chips, baked chips.
Look at all that. Okay? It's easy to ban Bud Light and drink, I don't know, Keystone or whatever. It's easy to go to Walmart instead of Target. It's easy to buy a Chevy instead of a Ford. But now here we go. Now here's the biggie. You gonna hate on Doritos? Well then, yeah, if you're gonna hate on Doritos, you shouldn't eat any of these things. All right?
The various dips that go with them, Baconettes, Cracker Jack, Chesters, Tostitos, and many other brands, some of which you've heard of, some of which you haven't heard of, such as Funyuns, Grandma's, Nature Chips, Rolled Gold, and Ruffles.
Okay.
To all
So
of
either
you-
way, let's go back.
just watch.
So good morning.
Just look at these comments. They're always had equal rights. They demand special rights for behavior. It's not they as in that community. It's these people who are just publicly displaying their personal sexuality under the umbrella that it's acceptable or should be accepted because it's under the umbrella term ideology of this trans thing, which it's not if you think about it. And then we have the argument, no, they have not. I'm straight. I'm not a fan of the new movement, but pre-2K, they did not have the same rights. Okay. And then to build on that, they actually have had every right since 2015. The final right was marriage, but I support all that it's the kid thing that breaks all. And this is where it's the thing too, where you hear a lot of Christians just saying, look, we were okay with it. We said, fine, if that's what you want to do. And we were cool with it and we accepted it. But then now you start coming up just like, that's going to be condemned in hell. And you guys are going to hell. Yeah, we like you. We like hanging out with you, but we still think you're going to go to hell. You know, like we don't think like you're good people. This is the light that's coming out that people don't see, that those who do see are realizing, wow, the darkness inside the human conscious mind, especially here in the collective society of America, is going very dark. Just like in the beginning of the Bible, when it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was void and without form, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Just like this facial expression. It isn't about equality. It is about totalitarian control of government and culture. Not in my household, not ever. I don't know what these not in my household statements. But again, what was that comment? It cut off right after we're coming for your, how do you know they said kids? Well, I mean, Marty, we're coming. It's like they're children to me. All these people are just children to me. All right. And if they're just like sitting here, I just think, like I said, it's like I would explain it like Tupac in his documentary Resurrection, where he talks about like, imagine, being poor, living on the street, and, like you have this rich restaurant that you watch every day throw out so much food, waste. And, every day you go up to this restaurant just like, please, sir, I'm hungry. Can I have some food? And they're like, no, go. And then, next month, please, sir, I'm still hungry. Can I have some food? It's like, no. And then, you just keep seeing them dump it all out. And this person just keeps, please, do you not see me? Yeah, we see you. Go away. We don't want to see you in front of here. Go do that other place. And then we get to a point where that person's like, forget it. I'm coming in there storming with my AK and I'm going to grab whatever I want. It's like the more one community keeps pushing, this other community is coming after our children when they're not. How can they come after your children if your children are your children? Yes, you can put them in school, but they're still your children, or maybe not. Maybe that's where, just like me, that's their opportunity to break free from your totalitarianism. At home, I have to be this person like Gonzo. And then in real life, I'm like Gonzarella. Do you not see this light? Because
This isn't the first time they said it. See, and no one was attacking Marty. See, and
I wasn't writing this because I don't know where the comments went. But what I read from Marty in that thing, Marty explained exactly the same thing. Nobody has the power take away the influence from the parents, or this control that parents fear they're losing, right? The only way parents can lose their children, at least from their conscious control or conscious communication, would be to be somebody who is like Candace Owens, who watches that cartoon with your child and just looks at the child after that's on, and just be like, can you believe this? I can't believe Gonzarella's like this, while your kid's sitting there like, I don't know, I kind of understand maybe Gonzo, but now the child is aware, like, I don't want to make mommy mad, so I'm just gonna just be what she expects me to be. But then at school, then you get to hang out, and this is where our darkness, or our insecurities and upbringing begin to reflect on our parents' parenting, right? If your kid is the bully, blah, 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 and the school even contacts the parent just saying, your kid is, the bully, he's, and then the parents are probably just like, are you kidding me? I talked to my kid and my kid said that it was, whatever the kid makes up, and they'll take the kid's side, or vice versa. The children go to their guidance counselors and just say like, hey, I just need to talk to somebody, and even my brother from another mother did this with his second oldest daughter, who he found a bunch of alcohol and vape pens and, like even some marijuana under her bed, and like had a talk. It just was like, like, we think that you should go see counseling and all this stuff. And I was like, that's what you told her? Like, bro, like, just sit there and just ask her, like, why do you like doing this? Tell me about it. Tell me what excites you about this. Tell me what drove you to this. And then I told him, instead of telling her you want to put him in counseling, I suggest you tell them, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if anything that your mother or I have tried to raise you to do or whatever is the cause of this. I'm sorry if that's it. And I just want you to know, yes, I'm upset that I found all this stuff and you were trying to hide this from me, but I'm just glad that I found it now. So can you just tell me, like, how are you getting this? And he's like, I found out that, yeah, it's one of the parents' moms. I'm just like, well, then why don't you go after that parent's mom? And he's like, well, it's like, why is it my responsibility? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the hypocrisy that I'm done. I'm done listening to this parent argument just saying, they're after our kids and we just want to protect our kids. It's like, yeah, I know that, and I know what that means. And then you're not protecting them. You're not doing anything for them other than just keeping them under this. I don't know how to say it any nicer than this. But if you go back through and look at who Marty is a trans person, okay? They put those comments on there. I don't know where it is. This is a 3-part video probably already, but I wrote this. You're a good fruit from good trees, Marty, because clearly his parents raised him in a loving place where Marty is comfortable being able to talk about their own struggle, their own life, their own identity. And he's half our age. This is the children that you and my generation are trying to protect, or are they not anymore because they're over 18? This is the hypocrisy. It's like, what about the children that grew up and crossed that tier of 18 and now they're legally adults? Oh, and then it's talking about minor attractive people, like we have to give sympathy to those. It's like, think about it. Like, who would be a minor attracted person in society? Imagine probably being a teacher your entire life and all you see are minors, you know, like, yeah, and you see children, you know, like that 17, 16, where it's like, wow, you're like, you know, like, I'm not saying 18's any better, but minor, all that stuff is a matter of law. And minor is different from Colorado to California to all this stuff. Minor can be 15, minor can be 17, minor can be anything. But the fact that they're just like, we won't give any sympathy towards maps or pedos or essays. And then you hear people saying, my pronouns are USA. And I'm just like, your pronouns are you and essay? Like, you know, like that's the irony and joke about what I'm hearing ridiculousness. So, like I said, I see exactly what you're trying to say.
No one was attacking Marty. Not a single person. We were correcting him because he tried
Now, why is Marty the one that needs correcting?
saying that no one is saying that they're coming for the children. I posted a video showing a group of LGBTQIA+.
Yeah, and a group of people that can say Black Power, Black Lives Matter. It's like no one person is out there saying, I'm coming for your kids. Actually, there are people out there who are like, I'm going to be out here at the playground to teach anybody about pedophilia. Like I saw a video of that ridiculous. But again, if we're going to target and beat this, we can't just go off the light that a group of people are using to just further this divide or show the absolute ridiculousness of how narrow-minded and close-sighted this radical right and left sides of these spectrums are from the center, you know, not left or right, but light, the light of it all. Just what can we gain from all this?
People saying, we're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children. And then they switched it up to, we're here, we're queer, and we're not going shopping. So, and he tried saying that wasn't happening. Now, I see you saved my video because you want to make a response video. And you mean allowing them to do what they want. So, you're not saying Christians are to come with love and everything like that, but love does not mean allowing them to do what they want. So, you're not seeing the full picture. Again, what they want. Orientation. So, it's a mental health problem. Because no 6-month-old child is gay. Because no 6-month-old child is gay. That her 6-month-old son was gay.
And this is the other test. Hey, Granddad, I just wanted to let you know your grandson is gay. Right? Just a cognitive test of where are my parents' light at? Do they really love my grandchild no matter what? You know, like...
That's a mental health problem.
So that, I think you have a mental health problem, daughter. Or, you know, why?
Because no 6-month-old child is gay.
Excuse me? Perhaps if you're thinking gay as in the sexual orientation, but there was a time, father, in your age probably, that gay used to mean merry and happy. Even Christmas songs say, you know, gay and all that stuff. Are they talking about sexual orientation?
Gay is a sexual orientation. So...
And this is where it is. When I say I'm gay as hell. Yes. Do you think I'm saying I love to have intercourse with a man? Or that I'm making a statement on the ridiculousness of just, why does gay just mean sexual orientation? Why is it when you see somebody saying, oh, I just hope you're a gay baby, you think they want them to be with a man? That's the predator in the mind, where it's like, you are the sexual predator. You look at that child and any word associated to it, you think sexual.
Why are we sexualizing children?
Exactly.
And See, coming at people, Christians are to come with love and everything like that, but love does not mean allowing them to do what they want.
Love does not mean allowing them to do what they want. This could be thrown back at the Christian community. So yeah, you think that it's okay to boycott all this stuff and blah, 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 blah. You know, yeah, it's your right. So we have to let you do what you want, blah, blah, blah. This is how the rhetoric in these arguments, it's just so thin.
So you're not seeing the full picture. Again, me and you.
And no disrespect, but I see the whole picture as you see the big picture, which is still a very small section of the bigger design. You know, it's like in the Bible, 1 John, anyone who knows love knows God because God is love, and anyone who does not know God does not know love because God is love. This is the conscious purpose of this book, right? To test where your consciousness is at. Oh, I believe in God. Okay, well, tell me about it. Prove it to me. Well, God, Jesus sent his son. You know, like, it's like, oh, yeah, no. Right there, 1 John 4:8. Anyone who knows love knows God. Do you know love? Yeah, I know what love is. Then you know God. That's what Jesus, the Son, Jesus Christ, Yahshua, the son of Joseph the carpenter and Mary the virgin. All right? It's not, there's just so many levels of this that I just feel like is unraveling. So I apologize again in advance if I'm just kind of sounding like I'm taking this out on you. But I'm not. I'm just trying to help you in this because, like I said, Marty is clearly, like I did and like we did, putting out an invitation to like, here, come get to know me. You know, reach out to Marty and just be like, hey, Marty, you know, like, let's talk. Let's get to know each other. That's how we should be using TikTok.
We've had a lot of conversations, and they were great. But calling out people that are angry about what's happening is not the correct way to do it, because you're not showing these children love. If you think it's okay to be for a woman to be topless in front of a child, or
what about the child's mother?
For a man to be bottomless in front of a child.
What about the child's father?
If you think that's okay, then that's a problem. And
see, this is where it's that kind of rhetoric that puts America under the microscope of the world. Did you know that in Japan, traditionally, children are raised, you know, like parents take baths, you know, like with their children to get them used to just nudity, okay? Because once you get to nudity, then you begin sexuality, you know, and once you get into that, then it's like who knows where that's going to take you. But until you figure out your sexuality and comfortable with that, that's when you transition into the next phase, right? Transitioning into different stages in life. This is what transitioning to children should mean. If a child comes home and says, hey, I'm trans. Okay, well, what are you transitioning to? Before you were my little boy or girl. So tell me, what are you transitioning to? A dinosaur? You know, Gonzarella? Or are you falling for this left-wing conspiracy attack against parents like us? You know, like,
you need to work on your walk. Because,
and that's where do not judge lest you ought to be judged. This is it. So if you don't think that I don't love the children, then only God can judge me on that. But I suggest you heed your own advice. Because like the saying goes, when we point a finger at somebody, we got 3 fingers pointing back at ourselves. Sometimes we even got one pointing at God if you do the trigger.
Because this is what is actually happening. If you haven't seen the videos, I'm sorry, but I have. I've seen the videos of...
And this is where Marty was talking about. Marty knows detransitioners and transitioners whose parents are the ones who made the choice to put them on puberty blockers. It's not the kid who can just go to the school and be like, I want to be put on puberty blockers, and the school is just like, oh cool, we'll just write you a prescription for that. No, the school will then get the parents involved and just say, okay, well, your child is coming to us about this. They want to take puberty blockers. What do you want to do? And then if the parent says, we'll take them to counseling, or what do you think I should do? And they're like, well, I don't know, maybe. And this is that ultimatum where I hear some people say, do you want a dead child or a living child? You know, do you want a dead daughter or a living son, or a dead son and a living daughter? And it's like, that's a pretty drastic way, but okay. When you put it like that, then it's like, well, I want a living, it's like, that should spark it. Like, why does my child have to be living in this? Like, why can't I have the child that's just living as themselves? Like, this is the conscious awakening, but we see parents who just have only seen what they watch and, the videos that they follow and the algorithm that they have created for themselves that feeds their mind and, just fuels these flames of this argument where it's like, this is the hill. We need private spaces. Those are our spaces. We fought for those. You didn't fight for those. We fought for those. It's like the level of respect that I'm losing for just women in general who just claim I'm woman. You're not woman. I'm woman. I'm just like, wow. Like, I've never been so less attracted to women in general than I have in this day and age. And that's not an attack on anybody. I'm just saying there's a reason I'm still single. It's because I don't know how to make this any clearer for you parents who are on TikTok correcting the children who are adolescents, or perhaps even more of an adult than we are in this argument. They are going through it. They have firsthand experience on what it is to grow up in high school in this thing, being trans or not being trans, or knowing somebody who transitioned, how many people can we say we went to school with compared to how many people are children, and not our, your children. I can't even say our children because then parents attack me. You don't have any kids. You don't care. It's like, yeah, all right. Yeah, you're right. Even when I had a dog and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have kids, but I got my dog, and they're just like, that's not even anything close. It's like, wow. Yeah. Get off your pedestal, parents, and come back to the real world. Because just because you have a kid doesn't mean you're the authority.